Hey, what's going on, hobbits? It's Jordan here, and welcome to episode 4 of SurrealCraft, the series where instead of focusing on the gameplay in each episode, I actually take each episode to talk about a different story, or a topic, or, you know, whatever, and it's generally entertaining. I'm failing miserably at this parkour. Oh my god, it's terrible. But yeah, these stories can range from drunken stories, to embarrassing stories, to, gross stories, like the one that we're kind of going to be talking about today, because the story that we're going to be talking about today is called Death by Dr. Pepper. At least that's what I like to call it, because this story is about the time at college when I nearly killed one of my friends with a Dr. Pepper bottle. Yeah, true story. Now, before we actually jump into the story, I'd like to talk about a couple of quick things, real quick. No! Well, one of the things that I would like to talk about is make sure to come check out the server. It is a faction server. There's also some other stuff to offer, and I'm actually currently spending my time playing the parkour, and it's so frustrating. And the other thing that I would like to quickly mention before we jump into the story is if you have I made it! If you have any questions that you would like me to answer in the next episode, feel free to go ahead and post them down in the comment section below, or you can tweet them at me, which is at PerpetualJordan, or post them on my Facebook page, or post them anywhere that I might see them. And then I will answer your questions in the next episode. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get onto the story, the Death by Dr. Pepper. Oh boy, it's a good one, and it's probably not actually going to take me all that long to tell, because, well, it's a pretty simple story to tell. I nearly killed a student with a Dr. Pepper bottle, so yeah, always fun times. Oh god, I'm spooked, no! Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to start talking about the story here, aren't I? Because I'm probably going to be struggling with this all day. So, anywho, it was near the end of my final year in college, which is actually pretty recently. Well, it's currently December, and it was back in June of 2014. There we go, I got it eventually. So yeah, in June 2014, I was pretty much just about to finish my final year of college. And so, like what everybody, I would imagine, does when it's near the end of their, you know, school years or college years or whatever, is that once you've got all your work done, you basically have the last, like, you know, couple of weeks or whatever to kind of relax and, you know, just mess around. Maybe you watch some movies in the classroom, play games, who knows what you do. Now, our class was a little bit more, I guess, brutal. We were a bit more, I want to say rowdy, I guess. Like, we didn't exactly cause trouble, but, you know, we were never a quiet class or anything like that, per se. So, what we were doing is, it was one of our last days there, and we were just sat bored in the classroom, and we didn't have a teacher, or not, like, and we didn't even have a substitute teacher. Like, nobody came to the lesson, which was weird. All right, I'm gonna jump here so that if I fall, I'll land on the wood. Oh, I made it. And let's see if I can do that again. Oh, come on. Okay, I just need to focus here now. I did it! Yes! Oh, sorry. I'm just really happy about that because that was so difficult for me. But yeah, so we had no teacher. We didn't even have a substitute teacher. This is trippy. Oh my god. So we were just messing around because, you know, we'd done all the work. We had no teacher to kind of guide us, you know, tell us what to do. So we just messed around. This is so trippy. Oh my god. So yeah, we were just messing around, and we were throwing stuff at each other, like not with like a malicious intent to like hurt each other or anything. We were just kind of throwing stuff at each other to you know, as just playing pass. How long? Oh god, this lasts for ages, doesn't it? Oh my god. Yeah, we were just essentially playing pass. Oh god. Okay, that failed miserably. And yeah, so we're just throwing this like Dr. Pepper bottle. I'll put a picture up so you know what one looks like, because I believe that they make them slightly different outside of the UK. And then whenever I try to explain it, people get confused as to how it happened. But yeah, so we're throwing a Dr. Pepper bottle around. Now, it wasn't completely empty. There was still a little bit of liquid in it. Not much, but, you know, just a bit. Enough that, like, it could shift weight and then be a little bit heavier on that side, you know? So, we're just throwing that along to each other from across the classroom. And then I kind of got a little bit bored, so I started just proper launching it at my friend. It was mean. It really was. But yeah, I was just kind of proper throwing it at my friend, like, with as much force as I could, and like each throw getting harder and harder. To the point where he actually sought cover. He put some like chairs up on the table and then took cover behind the chairs so that I couldn't hit him with the Dr. Pepper bottle. It was pretty brutal, if I'm gonna be honest, but it was entertaining. Ah, I did it! Yes! Yes! okay, that moment is now over. But yeah, so we're throwing it along, and he's trying to, you know, take cover behind the chairs, and it's not really, well, it's kind of working for him, but then it doesn't all of a sudden, and I feel a little bit sorry for him, but it was also kind of funny at the same time, if I'm gonna be honest. Well, I'm so, like, tripped out right now. What do I do? Oh my god. So basically, what happened was he was hiding behind these chairs, right? And it was such perfect timing, like a second, not even a second, like a split second earlier or a split second later, and this story would have been completely different, but the stars aligned and I got lucky. Well, unlucky for him, sort of lucky for me because it was hilarious, but kind of unlucky because he probably could have been pretty badly injured. In fact, he kind of was badly injured. I'll put a picture up near the end of the video. So in this split second that he kind of pops out of cover, I throw the bottle, and literally just as I throw it, he pops his head up, and it just smacks him right on the side of the head, and you hear it, like, you hear it, like, smack him really hard, and it did not sound pleasant at all, but, like I said, you hear it smack him, and then the bottle just goes flying across the classroom, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm like, got my, you know, like, hands, like, my face in my hands, because I'm like, that sounded brutal, and it turned out it was pretty brutal. So he was just kind of, you know, holding his head, and he was laughing about it, to be fair. Like, he didn't get angry, he was laughing about it the entire time, but he's holding his head, like, you can tell he's in pain, and then he brings his hands down, and they're covered in blood. Now, at the time, I didn't actually think it was blood, because I didn't think a Dr. Pepper bottle could, you know, cause blood like that, and there was a lot of it. I just assumed somehow he had, like, maybe, like, a ketchup packet that, you know, he just kind of popped on his hands to kind of, you know, joke with us or something, and it would have been pretty funny, to be honest. Well, it was funny either way, but I assumed, you know, it was like a ketchup packet or something that wasn't blood, because like I said, there was so much of it, and you just would not expect a Dr. Pepper bottle to cause that amount of blood, if at all any. So when he first shows us, I'm like, nah, you're joking, you're lying, and he's like, no, I'm not, and I'm like, yeah, you are, and then, so I walk over closer to him to kind of investigate it, you know, up close, and it starts just trickling all down his face, like, pouring all over his face. Like, it was actually pretty brutal, like, the amount of blood that there was. I know I shouldn't be laughing, but it was kind of funny, and he was laughing too, so I'm gonna say that if he was laughing at it, then that means I'm in the clear to laugh about it as well. So he goes ahead, he starts running towards, like, the bathroom to go get himself, like, washed up. And as he's, like, I stay in the classroom for a minute. And then one of my friends comes back and he goes, whoa, what happened to Ben? I'm like, oh, I kind of nearly killed him with a Dr. Pepper bottle. And he goes, really? He could have concussion. And I'm like, he's not gonna have concussion. He'll be fine. And he was fine. But anyway, so I go to kind of check up on him. And so I start walking to the bathroom myself to go see what he's doing. And as I'm walking along, there's just a blood trail leading from the classroom to the bathroom where, like, he's put his hands, like, on the doors and everything to, like, open doors or, you know, just whatever. There's just a blood trail leading to the bathroom. And I go in there, and his face is just covered in it. The sink is covered in blood. There was so much of it. It was ridiculous. I was actually, at this point, I was starting to get a little bit worried with how much blood there was. But he seemed fine, so I was kind of thinking, well, he'll be okay. So I guess this is the point, actually, where I'll go ahead and include a picture of him by the sink as he's trying to wash away the blood. I don't exactly know how much justice... did I say that right? Justice will serve him with the blood, because there was a lot of it. But nonetheless, it was pretty bloody and gross, and yeah. So after all this, once he finally got himself washed up a little bit, he went downstairs and headed to the like the medical office, or, you know, just basically, you know, to go get first aid to kind of, you know, patch it up a little bit. And the doctor, or the guy, you know, that's doing it, that's first aid registered or whatever, he's cleaning up the wound and everything, and then once he's finally cleaned up the wound and, like, stopped the bleeding, he shows me the cut. It is the tiniest cut ever. Like, it's tiny. Like, you couldn't even make a gap between your thumb and your pointy finger that was, like, this small. It was such a tiny cut, and there was just so much blood from this tiny cut. It was crazy. Like, once we saw, like, because you would have imagined with the amount of blood that was there, like, he would have a huge cut, but no. He had a cut that was, like, tinier than a hair strand. It was ridiculous. Now, thankfully, I didn't get into any trouble about this. At first, I didn't say it was me, but once, you know, he got patched up, cleaned himself up, and, you know, we knew he was fine, and it wasn't anything major. I was like, yeah, okay, it was me. And then we were even telling some of the teachers about it. Like, what did you do? And I was like, oh, I just did that. And I was like laughing about it. And and the teachers were like, and you're proud of that? I'm like, little bit. Little bit. I was, as mean as it is to say, I was pretty proud of that. Like, how often can you say that you nearly killed somebody with a bottle of Dr. Pepper? Granted, if he did die or went to hospital or something, then maybe I wouldn't have been as laughing as much, but he was fine. He was okay, so nothing to worry about. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire story, and there was not much else to it other than that. I guess I had to pan it out a little bit, huh? But yeah, basically, you know, too long didn't read is that I threw a Dr. Pepper bottle, had a little bit of liquid in it, so it's still a little bit heavy in one side. That side hit him in the head, and blood everywhere. And that's pretty much it. Now, I'm just saying, this parkour right here is actually so infuriating. I'm usually good at parkour. If you've seen any of, like, the parkour adventure maps that I've done, I'm usually pretty good. So why am I sucking so bad at this? It just doesn't make sense. And it really, really pains me. Now, where the hell do I... Oh, I got a jump boost. Okay, cool. Whoa! Wait, what the hell just happened? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna... I'm not going to finish it. Never mind. Wow, this is so much easier with jump boosts. And then I got screwed. But anyways, guys, so that was the story of Death by Dr. Pepper. Hopefully you enjoyed it and it didn't really bore you or wasn't too, you know, panned out or, you know, drawn out or whatever. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to click that like button. I realized it was probably one of my more brutal stories and probably should be a little bit more careful in the future. Don't throw bottles at people, especially if they have liquid in, because it's proven to be dangerous. But yeah, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully my terrible parkour skills in this episode haven't kind of turned you away and made you judge me, because my god, I'm judging myself right now. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be, and until then, have a good day.